Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of CEVO TV. I'm Klops here with Cotton, and we got a doubleheader tonight for you guys, starting with Denial versus Ronin 5, and then iBuyPower versus Armada. How
I
you
think
doing, Cotton?
everybody, I think everybody is here for one of two reasons, and that is to see the new iBuyPower lineup or to ask what the odds are on Denial versus Ronin 5. Look at how many people are here to talk about bets. This is one of the weirdest phenomenons I've
Yeah,
seen in esports.
it's funny how CS:GO Lounge people bet on it, and then it's I don't know. It's exactly like betting on real sports. You get the stake in there, or if you're playing fantasy football, then it's like, oh,
It's
you
true,
got to
you're right.
watch the game, and then you're invested in it. So
Even if that running back is on the team that you hate, if that running back happens to be DeMarco Murray on the Cowboys, you're just like, you get me that one touchdown, and then you lose, but you get me that one touchdown. Like you, I need these skins. You told me that they can't trade knives. Is that true?
So that's what they're saying in chat. I don't actually know the exact rules for betting on CS:GO Lounge since we aren't really allowed to bet on in matches. But
Right. Yeah. No. That's what I thought. I could have swore that I got that. Let me look at the staff chat to see who we got in here. We got JDM, Juvenile, Mosbeck, and Hades. So people are connecting as we speak. The players, as they connect, will of course dictate whether or not we can get into the game. So just hang with us for just a little bit. We thought today was going to be a one-off. That maybe we'd just do an intermediate or a main match, and then we get to the CEVO-P featured matches, Denial Esports versus Ronin 5. But it turns out that the main event has kind of been usurped from that match, and the main event is now something else entirely. No?
you were talking about the iBuyPower versus Armada match.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
after match.
I don't know if it's necessarily going to be. I think Denial versus Ronin 5 is going to be the better match, but everyone, like you said, everyone is excited to see iBuyPower's new roster and see how they're going to perform. So I think that's why it's taking the spotlight for the most
Yeah.
part.
So this one I have to address. Somebody said in chat, please don't do American football references. Okay, fine. If you had a fantasy league and you're watching
For fantasy Dota, I don't
you
know.
okay, okay, fantasy esports is one thing, but I was gonna say, like, you're watching Milan, and Kaká needs to get one assist or a goal to put you over the top in your fantasy league, and for some reason he gets benched and you're just screaming at the coach. That's kind of what we made that parallel reference to. Now we're back to iBuyPower versus Armada. You're right. You're right. I don't think that iBuyPower versus Armada is going to be as good of a game. I think Armada is making the case that it's a very good team. It's put up some amazing rounds versus some of the top teams in professional. But I think that for the most parts, the story of Armada is very, very good, and then fold when it comes to the crunch time versus the big teams.
Yeah, I
And
agree with that.
you see Armada beating those middle level teams, and even if iBuyPower is a little bit rusty because of the lack of I guess the lack of chemistry, they should win this easily. Now here's the kicker: if iBuyPower loses, that's a red flag. That's a huge red flag.
Yeah, it's a red flag, but I mean, it's all. I don't think it's too big of a red flag because I mean they did just have these roster changes implemented, so I mean obviously the chemistry is not going to be there. So I mean if they do lose, then obviously there's going to be something to that. Like that's not going to say oh the iBuyPower's just crap down the road. They just need to make adjustments and get used to the new roster appropriately. So
I happen to think that there's going to be comparisons made, and it's not even necessarily fair, but there's going to be comparisons made immediately to the games that we saw the day before yesterday with Complexity as they played a doubleheader. You guys can see that VOD on youtube.com/playsevo or in the past broadcast up at top, but I don't think you want to leave this live broadcast right now. You saw the debut of Anger, which was amazing.
yeah,
He first 6 rounds he missed some easy shots. You could tell it's like, I'm a little shaky. Can I please perform better?
but he
Uh,
he had a bunch of clutch opportunity rounds. And,
exactly,
yeah, so.
exactly. As they played further and further, he made more and more important kills. How I think I said this on stream. How poetically correct or how poetically appropriate was it that Anger was left with so many clutch rounds, including the very last round of Train, which he won.
No,
Uh,
he didn't because Denial beat Complexity on Train.
I made the mistake of actually glancing at chat, and chat is just like not. They're just requesting the do, and I was like, I don't want
Not
to.
not every night. But yeah, and I was actually glad to see Anger performing well because, like I said in the cast when we did cast that match, that Anger seemed like he was kind of slumping the past few months when he's been playing for IBET Power, not really playing to his potential. But
Yeah.
yeah, the other night, I mean, he was playing really well, and it's good to see Anger performing well, and hopefully he keeps that up. Like you said, maybe it's just the need to feel like he needs to prove himself for Complexity since he just joined the roster. But either
It's
way,
here's the thing. I looked at the exact stats for Anger the other night, and while we were talking about Anger, everyone's like, "Well, Anger online doesn't mean anything because Anger's amazing online. He doesn't perform at LAN." That's preposterous. He had a couple of poor LAN showings where he played average, not bad, just average,
hmm
and then people wrote him off for the rest of the time. And he's played 27 plus 6, I think, if you count international. So you're talking about somewhere in the 30s range, like 33 if I'm using that math, lands, and some of them have been really spectacular, and I think people have written him off. So if he regains form online, I'm not at all doubting his ability to regain form online and at LAN, especially with a team as coordinated as one that is being built by Sean Gares.
yeah, yeah, they should be just fine going into LAN, and especially I'm sure they'll have plenty of time to build up the chemistry that they're probably lacking at this time. So I think Complexity will be fine looking into the future.
People are asking when does the match start? Get the match started. Can we have the match started? Yeah, I get it, guys. The players are currently joining the server right now, so we cannot. We're just waiting on them. It's not like we are delaying your experience. They are still trying to connect to the server. We'll be in just a moment. Now, what we were talking about is the comparison. After tonight, the comparison is whose trade was better. It's a twofer, right? Now IBP has to fill 2, and Cole only had to fill 1, so it's easier for Cole to pick up and keep moving. I buy power, you lose 40% of your team. It's much different than just that one person.
It really is. I mean, the chemistry difference for two people rather than one is going to be more drastic for Outlet Power. But, I mean, I think they should be able to get it going. I mean, Swag should be pretty familiar with Outlet Power's playstyle just from playing against him.
Steel should also be familiar because he's played extensively with Dazed, even though they
Yeah,
had a weird falling out. But yeah. So
yeah,
so it's not a matter of one guy is not there to throw that one smoke or one guy is not there to hold that corner like you're used to. It's a matter of trying to re-explain the entire playbook. Hey, Swag, can you stand here, look for this? If we do this, go here. And also, Steel, you remember that time when we used to run the strat? Can you do this while Swag is doing? That's exponentially more difficult. And I'm afraid that the general masses will think that iBuyPower is somehow weaker than Complexity just because of this one game. And it's their debut game. Let's get this out of the way. This is the first time, the very first time that they will be playing together in an official match. They may have practiced before. I hope they did. I hope they did. And our judgment should be tempered with a little bit of just a little bit of hesitation, right?
yeah. Throughout all the do spam I saw, someone asked what map is iBuyPower going to be playing on. Denial vs. Runner 5 is going to be on Train, and then iBuyPower vs. Armada is going to be on Inferno. That's going to be a makeup match from week 1, so they will be on Inferno.
Okay. Now the server is live, and I'm still waiting for the delay to catch up, but we could be getting in pretty soon. I'm going to check the staff chat again to see how many people we have in. Let's see. I see Daps, Finesse, JDM. Yeah, we got about 6 in there. Now I think they're doing some ping testing.
Okay.
Uh,
As
make
they
them
always do.
make them stop spamming. Well, they are entitled to spam all the do that they want, so I'm not going to. But yeah, there are plenty of mods out in the chat. They're aware of the fact that the do is being spammed, and
Wow.
they're just not going to do it.
Jeez.
Yeah, I know. Like it's intense. It's
No,
really
I
intense.
just saw one message out there, 100% directed towards me. Wow, that's nice.
Flops, where do you get the information? That one?
No, no,
Is it inappropriate for the stream? Because we can avoid that.
I just typed it to you.
Hey, you know what? I get like 6 of those a night. Welcome to the club, friend.
That's funny.
Okay. I'm waiting for this delay to end, and then hopefully that means people are in the server. I got 2, Juvenile and Wabbit. That's a great sign. Oh, this new scoreboard always throws me for a trip. And I know you weren't able to get in Counter-Strike yesterday, so this is the first time you're going to see it at all.
I watched a cast obviously from Misled in later, so I did see it a little bit. It didn't look too different for me. I wanted to see the changed diffuse kit, but I didn't actually see that.
I wonder why that was changed. I wonder if it has something to do with skins, or if it's just a matter of making it more visible for your own teammates, or even making it visible to the terrorists, as a sort of advanced meta sort of thing. But the way it was done with like duct tape and putting the bomb code on it, I was just like, God, this is silly. Like that doesn't. Anyway, the delay ended. I have 8 in the server. Ready?
I'm
Set.
connecting right now.
Go. Good. Yeah, like you said. So train, which should be an interesting one, the dynamics of which are perfectly suited to two teams like Ronin 5 and Denial, who have great long shots. And then the second one will be Inferno, which is the map for the entire world, because everyone's seen Inferno at large tournaments, and it's the only map that's ever played and that sort of thing.
Yeah. Inferno should, like you said, should be well known for everyone, so...
We're getting
the spamming will stop, because now we're in game, guys. It's almost going to start, so everyone relax.
The moment you say spam stop is when they start copy pasting everything. let me ask you.
I look like
this.
Morgan Freeman. Wow.
Yeah, it's a compliment.
Never heard that one before.
You look like God. You look like Black God.
Right?
That's a compliment to all of our African and African American viewers. When I was starting that previous sentence, it was about we're sort of moving beyond the scope of Denial versus Ronin 5, and had iBuyPower not been part of the conversation today, they would be the featured match, and we would be all over this match, and the intrigue is there because these are two squads that are on fire right now. Denial and Ronin 5 are both one is 5-1, the other is I can't even remember the records right now.
It's around there, 5-1. Yeah, I believe so. And I mean, like we said, Denial actually beat Complexity the other night, so I mean that was a big win for them.
Oh my lord, it was crazy.
It was. Both teams are, like you said, performing extremely well. But I think I got to go with Denial on this one.
I think so. I think any squad that's capable of beating Complexity on Nuke, and even if Nuke is one of Complexity's weaker maps, like, you have to be seriously reckoned with here. When Denial won against Complexity, it was against serious adversity. They had to overcome a disastrous terrorist side. They had to win in overtime. You recall?
Yeah.
Yes, you
no.
do.
Wait, I'm trying to think.
Denial versus Cole was the overtime game, and the first one was a 16-14, I believe. Thinking back on that one?
I think wasn't the Denial Cole on Nuke?
It was. I just said that.
Yes. Yes, that's right.
You looked at the chat.
No, I was literally thinking about the matches because what you said didn't make any sense. You said they had come back from T side.
They had to go to an OT. It turned out to be a 16-15. Actually, it was like a 21-17 or something of the sort. And the other game on Train was a 16-14 that just got barely won. So I was saying that Denial is a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, they certainly are.
Ronin 5, I'm trying to think. I don't think they've really been tested by a team as good as Denial this season.
No, I don't think they have either. So this should be a good one. And yeah, I'm looking at this new scoreboard. It's pretty awesome. I like how Ronin 5's tag is a different color.
Yeah, all tags are a different color. I think we're getting a current a ping test for all players. They wanted to make sure that this is viable. I think the only one that's in the range of being questionable seems to be JDM
with his super high 78 ping.
We're a little bit prima donna these days about our pings. Recall in the days of 1.6, the thought of playing with a UK player like Steel would just be completely insane.
Yeah.
Thank God for technological advancements. All right, so let's talk about the map. It's Train. We know plenty about Train and the fact that not a lot of teams play it anymore. And this is, of course, the vanilla version of Train, not the ESEA VE or the Volcano edition of Train. You have to focus on your long shots, as you could tell anybody. So give me your prediction, because I know you said it already. Just to reiterate to the fans, the followers, or whoever, and then give me a couple of the points that you have to be looking out for.
I'm going to be going with Denial 16-10 for the scoreline. But let's talk about what, if Ronin 5 it was to win, how they needed to go about that on T side. So the main thing, obviously, the big help for them is going to be utility nades, smokes, obviously outer, that's going to be huge for them, as well as coordinated entries from T connector, ladder room, and alleyway. So if they can do that and get their shots down, the entries down, then they should be able to have a pretty decent T side.
I think you need, as an IGL, you need to keep very, very close eyes on the tendencies of the Ivy player and how close he'll push up the 4 lane. If he goes right up the 4 lane to the Ivy, you need to pressure him from the T-Con. Or if you get somebody who's playing off, maybe between the border of 4 and 5 lane. What are they called in CSGO? A3 and A2 or whatever?
Yeah, A3, A2, and A1.
It's so hard for me to say. And 4
Yeah,
and 5 lane. Anyway, if
exactly.
he's playing off at the back of that lane and you don't have as much pressure at the alley, you can use that person at the T-Con to be more effective, to come out to challenge the bomb site, to challenge CT Heaven. But you need to. That guy is the linchpin. For me, in recent meta, especially in North American meta, where we're very shot heavy, that has been the guy. That has been the guy that determines round wins.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. And then obviously it's going to come down to personal matchups as well for the IGL. If they could identify a weak source, if you know, outer isn't working for them and they could identify a success in inner, then perhaps maybe that's where they start putting the pressure on.
Perhaps we identify another goat of the evening, like Hiko was unfortunately for that last cast that we did.
Yeah, exactly.
You're watching CEVO TV. I'm Cotton. My partner is Klops, and this is Denial versus Ronin 5 on a week 5 match 2 on DE Train. We have a prediction in from the expert at 16-10 for Denial, who started on the CT side. We'll see. Your batting average is pretty good right now. The gear loadouts for the T's, mostly a support and double armor look. You can see that the 2 armors are on Wabbit and Daps, and if that is the case, you would look for them to be the entry. Let's find out where exactly they are. Wabbit is in the White Hall, and Daps is behind him at the same location. They'll be pushing here. 2 already in the staircase, and Finesse has brought down Juvenile. That fast push buys them a little time, but now they may be caught on the ramp. They are going to sacrifice at least 1 player here. Lucky is able to trade out his teammate, and 1 behind, back at that hump at the back. Lucky drops another. 3-2 on the trade, 2-1 left, and oh my god, Prospect blows away Lucky with a jumping burst headshot. Now the last one is JDM. Long distance USP shot is good, and if you don't win that pistol round on T-side train, you feel very nervous.
Yeah, pistol round on T-side train, obviously on any CT side map, is very important. And if they would have got that, then they would have had some good momentum going into this round. But now the CTs have it all, and they should be able to pick up the next 2 rounds. We might see a good eco round from Ronin 5, but I don't know.
How do you treat these eco rounds?
I mean, you could either, you know, rush a certain spot and try to get a gun and then use that to advantage, or, I mean, you could obviously go the way that most teams like, some teams like to do it, where they just like to get the round over with and be done with it, especially on these rounds where you're far less favorable T-side.
Yeah, there are full saves. You see them a lot on train, in particular because of the fact that people need to save up for the full utility nades. You can't really force buy on train because you need your smokes and flashes so much, but you might see a bunch of suicide plants, and this is clearly what it was intended to happen. Ronin wanted to suicide plants, but Denial rotated so fast that nobody even made it to the bomb site. A perfect round, only a couple of people just damaged, and no forced rebuys means that you're gonna see maybe on the 3rd round ops and going forward a bunch of scoped weapons. Then you don't want to see auto snipers at lower B. You don't want to see auto snipers at the bomb train or anything like that. It's kind of scary like this right now.
Yeah, but Denial, they know that they didn't get a bomb down, so they're going to go and just keep their FAMASs here. They're not going to upgrade to the next tier of guns. But I like the stack that they did in inner. They put 2 in inner because they realized, you know, most teams like to push inner on eco rounds, and that's exactly what Ronin 5 did, and they were ready for it and took the round quite easily.
5 to the White Halls already, and Finesse is waiting in the smoke. This could be a triple. He picks up 3 with his 25 FAMAS bullets. The last 2 are at the back of the Brown Hall. They'll come back out and try to go for more. Prospect has no idea where he is. Turns and brings down Finesse and doesn't give him any joy, or at least a chance for a quad. The last one gets wiped up very nicely by Lucky. A net total of 1 kill in the last 2 rounds makes you not very rich. You have a couple buys here of 2,800, and I saw one at 2,500. It's a little ugly right now for Ronin 5.
Yeah, and you saw Wabbit was able to get an op, but just barely, because he had no kills so far in the first 3 rounds, and that's basically all he was able to get was an op and armor, no nades whatsoever. So he's going to have to rely on his team to set up some smokes outer if he's going to try and get that Ivy pick from the T-connector.
Look at this. Hades is pushing the T-Con, and he's going to be looking up at the red train. I wonder if he'll come out in a second to pressure the guy down at Ivy to allow the entry to happen. We have 3 pushing in the Brown Halls. They found Mosbeck waiting at the top of the railing. He was not ready for so many people to be here, and these nades force Daps back. He stalks around the corner, and I think he'll try to fight that person head on. But knowing that many people are there, he's not ready to be traded out. He has nobody to support him, and he needs to play individually. So 3 left for the T's. All your entries are completely ruined, and Denial is maintaining the form that we saw them at last.
Yeah, I like that 3-man push into inner. I mean, it's very risky, especially on the buy round, but they do pick up one and then immediately just rotate out and go back to setting up that outer.
Hades will step out, and now it's time to make the desperation play. Wabbit's looking the wrong way. He sees one, can trade out his teammate, but trading at this point is not really a consolation prize when you're down by this many bodies. Cutler challenges the Opera, not even afraid at all of the scoped weapon. He's just getting up in Wabbit's face, and Wabbit was really not expecting. He's kind of just perturbed, thinking like, why are you fighting me? I have an op, and that's just a sign of no respect. JDM behind the 5 lane. 2 people directly in front of him. We know that. He does not, and he gets a shot at him. Survives it. I'm not sure if he got winged by that, but he's down to 19 health. And Daps needs 1 to bring him down. He may get it right there. There's the shot. He gets shot in the back. I'm not quite sure how Hayes managed.
Wabbit, I think?
Yeah, it could have been that. I think our overlay didn't give us enough information there. Bomb dropped. Here's the retake. Denial is on the mop-up job, and Lucky has had that job of just cleaning up all the kills at the very end, and it's not like he's top fragging by making nutty kills. He's literally just cleaned up every vulture kill at the end, and somehow he's 8-1 for it.
Yeah, and that bomb plant was actually really important for these guys, because had they not have gotten it, then they would have been forced to save, and we probably would have been seeing that buy save slide. But they do get these AKs going, so they got another shot at redemption here. And if they don't get this round, then it's going to be looking the start of trouble is going to be forming for Ronin 5.
What worries me a little bit, and it could be because people died early, is that a lot of these utility nades are going unused, and I'd like to see a couple of set pieces to get people blind. I want smokes in people's faces, flashes to make it hard for the CTs, and especially teams as good as shooting as Denial to be really damaging.
And as you bring it up, they go ahead and throw them, but...
Yeah, exactly. They did everything that I asked them to, but now they're not hitting any shots, and Denial is just too fast. They're not letting these smoke walls interrupt their playstyle at all. And, oh, you need to control your recoil. Juvenile manages to wrangle it down to pick up 2. Finesse was ready to pick up and trade, and 3 alive for the CTs means their economy is perfectly fine. Look, 5k digits already on their bank accounts.
Yeah, and I was expecting a save here, but since they got quite a few kills right there, I think they are able to buy it once again. But I believe this is probably going to be the last time they're able to buy. I mean, they do have that losing streak bonus actually going for them, so I think that's exactly why they were able to.
Give me your impression on this. You've gone with all your set nades and your set flashes and smokes, and they haven't done anything for you, so you get frustrated, and then you go for a force. I'm not sure. For me, you have to keep your composure on train. This is the map that tests your morale, right? If you go for forces, you're taking a very low percentage chance.
Yeah, you are. So, I mean, if you're not hitting shots with the set nades, I mean, at this point, if I was running, I would be going inner, which is exactly what they're doing, because, you know, the early rounds, they were stacking 2 in inner, but now on the buy rounds, they're actually not, even though they rotated in after they took so much time. But yeah,
Finesse presses the bomb site. Wabbit brings him down from upper. That's a good one. It's the first death of the round, and unfortunately, I mean, for Ronin, it's in their favor. 2 for them. First trade is by JDM on the site. There are 2 damaged, wounded T's, and they're stacked on top of each other, making sure that they don't have to leave the safety of the... Oh, my God.
Touchdown.
JDM, mail bomb package sent to Daps and Mosbeck. The bomb is planted, and it's going to be a hard defuse. They'll smoke it and try to go for it. Lucky's going to go for a committed defuse. They stop the retakes immediately. A textbook stop. Denial is just too smooth right now.
Yeah, but with that bomb plant and the losing bonus here, I thought they would be able to afford an op, but no. It's going to be AKs once again. So, I mean, they're just having a little success. But like I said, if they do a speed rush into inner, then they're only going to be up against 1 person. So they should be able to actually take that. They were stacking it, like I said, in the early rounds, but just because they were expecting the rushes there from the ecos. But now that it's the gun rounds, they know that, you know, obviously outer is usually the favorite spot. So they're actually putting 4 out there like we usually see.
So right now, what we're seeing is a sort of a paced build-up and then a charge into a site with a lot of numbers, and JDM is still there fighting by himself. Nobody's testing him from the T-Con, which is allowing him to play right up in the face of the Ivy players, and you do need to move him out of that position. There's plenty of ways to do that. We can talk about that, but what I was saying is the pacing seems to be 1 speed. Wait for a little bit and then try to get multiple people into a choke point. Denial's too good for that, and I think you really have to slow it down and play the pick game here.
Yeah, they've tried smoking off the sandbag area from mid and then taking outer, which obviously puts smoke in JDM's face. But I mean, all he has to do is rotate to either the number 4 or the number 3 lane, and then he's still viable. So I mean, like you said, if they could get a smoke in the other lanes to block off the other players and then peek someone out, T connector with an op, well, they can't afford the op right now. But if they could save up for one, then they might be able to pick him and then use that to their advantage.
Set smoke to get 4 in the site. It looks like it's a reverse back to outer. I'm not sure if that means they're going to come down the ladder. No, they've decided to descend down the lower ramp, and they're going to charge the bomb site. They've taken it. Mosbeck's cleared out the site with his teammate Juvenile. We can pick up a third. They're in good shape. The first round, finally, for Denial, may be at hand. Excuse me, for Ronin 5 may be at hand. I'm going to say something that's a bit controversial, but if Denial keeps playing in this form, now they did surrender a round. If they keep playing in this form, how early before we start having the conversation about Denial being the best in the league?
I mean, I think
Still
we
a
gotta
couple
go
games
through
away?
Eye Power as well, you know. So, I mean, they did beat a, I guess, a newly formed Complexity. So, and look at this, he's gonna get Cutler's gonna get a flank. Oh, the knife! Oh!
Oh my God! He turned just barely enough so that it wasn't a backstab.
Wow. But yeah, I mean, nice round by Ronin 5. You know, they kind of set up for an outer take, it looks like, but they got denied over at Ivy, and then they decided to rotate around, and essentially they just hit their entries into inner, which, I mean, that goes to the guy who's playing inner, and that's pretty much the reason why they got in. So I believe it's Finesse. He needed to step up his game, and look at this. They're actually stacking inner now with 2 people. I think they realize that, you know, Ronin 5 sees weakness there, and they're probably going to press the advantage.
Well, here,
Press more
stacking
people there.
with 2 people, and they think, well, 2 people is normal for a bomb site. Nice trade there by Daps. He might get the third. No, he doesn't. By stacking 2 inner, we're talking about the current meta of Train, which is, of course, having one person on the fast rotate in a swing position at the Z to take inner, and having just one player in inner. Because the pro teams nowadays, this year in 2014, are starting to press B just a little bit more, you're starting to see the old 1.6-3-2 split come back.
Yeah, we are, and it's becoming a little bit more and more relevant. I mean, we do still see the 4-stack outer, but like I said, if Finesse is having trouble holding inner, then obviously Denial wants to address that, because the more rounds you give on the CT side, it's obviously going to be harder for you when you switch house.
A long flash makes it turn into proverbial pop flash, and Wabbit got blinded badly, so he gets taken down. Another trade on the opposite side of the map. Daps finds Purchase in the site, will smoke for his teammate to let Juvenile come down and not be molested on the way in. He can plant the bomb. It'll be a good set here. And on the far side of the map, we have a lurk at the Ivy. 1 down in the site, and Juvenile must hold on in case his teammate can come to support him. Hades needs to accelerate, and he's playing it very safe. Now, Juvenile also must play it safe to make it a possible win. Now Hades realizes he picks up the pace. Our last one, our number 9, is coming through CT, and he's made too much noise. He realizes he can't win this one, so he'll have to save the rifle. If he could have just taken a risk and started running, he would have been able to support his teammate, but no.
Yeah, he might have picked off that Lucky who was wielding the auto sniper there, but he did have also Hayes waiting in CT spawn for him, so he would have had to go through 2 people before trying to get the guy off the bomb from defusing. I think it was probably the smart play here to save.
Probably. Another bomb plant will allow for a force. We'll see if they'll go for it. Even at 3K, I'm really surprised here. Ronin 5 is not at all being cautious with their money. They're just trying to scrounge together the rounds as they go.
Yeah, it seems, honestly, I mean, they're not even heavily relying on the set nades. They're more trying to hit the entries and just relying on their aim. But, I mean, just so far, it's not working out.
One smoke thrown beyond the 4 lane to land in front of the Ivy, and the other one by the bomb train to block off the vision of the players in the back so that the Ts can only engage 2 players at a time. A smart smoke, probably the best one, considering the fact that the op plays at the back of the 4 lane. 1 in hell. Hades finds him. There's the kill, and JDM is the only one left in the site after Finesse goes down. Now he's the only one. He's not going to try to clutch, but he also can't escape. It's too open, so he'll have to fight and try to fight his way out. He cannot. Daps finds the headshot, finds his form, 7-2.
And just as I say, they aren't using the smokes. They actually do a heavy push out of ladder and get a nice smoke place that allows them to come out. But even before the smoke was thrown, Lucky actually had an auto sniper on the ladder room, and he was at a very tight, small angle. And because of that, he did see them coming out. But because of that small little peek window that he had, he just really couldn't do anything about it. He did start shooting, but it's just such a small window that he wasn't really able to hit anything. So I don't know if I like that, how he was holding ladder from that position. And look at this Wabbit wielding an op, probably going to try to get a pick from upper, I would assume.
It's a walk outer. There are two people out here fighting as a disruptor, so people can walk to inner. You can see the bomb on the minimap traversing and making its way inner while Hades tries to make as much noise as possible. Finesse realizes it's a fake. Take a look at the minimap. He's called the rotates for sure, and they're coming through the Z now. They need to clean up Finesse before they can plant the bomb, and if they do it fast enough, they'll be able to do it without eating nades. Unfortunately, the CTs are on the site. Here we go. Here's the action. Daps is flashed, has a smoke in his eyes. Hayes is actually right up in the bomb site. He's right next to Juvenile. We'll pre-fire him on the ladder stairs. His teammate's already dead thanks to the work of Cutler, and that leaves Daps to hold on to the site. He tries to spray with yellow.
On the big flank.
On the big flank, that's right. Stop the defuse! They're gonna get it! It's a crazed firefight. The bomb timer is about to expire. Mosbeck finally on the big flank makes it all the way around, saves his team's hope, and it's just, you can tell it was a millisecond away.
I didn't see, did Mosbeck, was he initially outer with everyone else, or did he go inner and then flank all the way from ladder? I unfortunately missed that because I was watching the action inner. But I believe the two guys who initially went outer got killed, so I'm assuming he was in that initial push inner and then decided to go flank all the way around with his 2 health, which,
Hades,
I mean, that's...
Hades was not alone, actually. There was a body at ladder helping fight, but since he was smoked off, it seemed as if he reversed, and I think Mosbeck came down the ladder. Speaking of coming down the ladder, he was just there and got CZ'd down. That's will clean up for the trade. So that flank came late in the game, during the firefight, and I think he had to have gone at a full sprint to get there, which is pretty impressive.
Very impressive indeed, and I mean, look at this. Only 3 rounds won, now 4, but 2 rounds in a row, and all the money has been drained from Denial. They're now down. They were obviously saving right there, and they're down to 4K now because they've been buying scopes and full buyouts pretty much every round, which you have to. But yeah, I mean, that's how quick that the money can be drained from these guys. And look at this now. Ronin 5 at 4 rounds, and, you know, what was looking like a not-so-good T-side, it's turning into a pretty acceptable one now.
Let me tell you, the first round that they won with the set smokes was followed up by the 2 same set smokes with Hades pressuring, and both of those rounds were successful rounds. Now, you see the same smoke landing right by the silo. Probably not another one by Ivy because it was just late. It was just late. Good. But I think they've realized the pattern to their success is by cutting the bomb site in half. Let's deal with smaller chunks, right? Let's deal with what we can see in front of us instead of having to deal with an entire outer bomb site. It's met with success, but Denial is too good, and they're going to adjust to it. So they're going to have to find new smokes. That was a huge shot. Wabbit tags Hayes as he was dropping right in that femoral artery. That's a Black Hawk Down reference right there.
Yeah, it did look like a leg shot. I was honestly surprised he got the kill from that.
Yeah. And then just one left for the side. That's Wabbit, our number 6, who we follow now, is stuck in the Ivy. He's going to give away his position with that smoke, and undoubtedly, JDM has the drop on. Oh, he's going to walk through the smoke. This is dangerous times. Okay. Shall we turn off the X-ray to make it intense?
Yeah, let's do it.
He walks up the file lane. We know the last time we saw Cutler was directly in front of him. He needs to hit a flick shot. He cannot. Cutler had a notion because his teammate got called over. It was only a matter of time. 8-4. Still, Ronin 5 can feel pretty accomplished as they stand now.
Yeah, I mean, and if they get one more round, even better. I mean, 4 rounds nuke T-side, you should be feeling pretty good about that. But like you said, how he walked through the smoke there at the end, that was really risky, especially with JDM still up, because JDM does play that Ivy spot, and he usually plays in the back lanes of the train. So, I mean, that could have been really dangerous. I mean, luckily he was playing at the sandbags with a M4, but yeah.
The positions have changed, and I think Denial knows that they're sort of being isolated, that they've swapped up their positions, so they had a double Z look, and that's actually 1 Z, 1 lower B, and now they'll rotate back, and Hayes playing the swing position is not just dedicated to that lower B. He can fill in wherever they want. So I think the 3-man leaning toward B was initially to prevent a rush that they saw coming, and now they'll reset to a basic. Cutler gets winged, and it's not a full 85 damage leg shot. It's just a little bit penetrated through that corner of the brick, so he's down to 35. The bomb plants. Oh god, I thought that nade was going to bounce back for Hades. The bomb plant is good. It's going to be 5-on-4. There's going to be a lot of chaos pursuing now. Juvenile brings down the first. He's pressed up against the smoke, and JDM knows, so he pulls out his CZ in case he can do just this, and he'll drop him. He could pick up an AK, but instead decides to wield his op, correctly so, bringing down Hades. It's 3-on-3. The bomb ticks away, and Hades has to make a heroic charge here. He cannot complete it. It's down to a 1-on-2. JDM's op versus 2, and he's going to check the site. Please check the site. No good. This is a doomed charge now with only 16 health. He can't do it. He gets pincered. 5 rounds for Ronin 5 on the half.
Big rounder for Ronin 5 right there. And I was honestly a little surprised they took Inner so easily. It was only Lucky, Finesse defending by himself. And usually when Ronin 5 takes that much time in a round, that's when you see the stack come in from Denial into Inner, but it just didn't happen this round. And as soon as they got into the site and got that kill, one of them placed a nice smoke on the number 3 lane by CT connector, which allowed him to push up and pick up the guys who were playing in the 1 and 2 lanes.
The 4 lane?
Yeah, the 4.
Oh, you're using the Go terminology.
Yes.
Oh god, I can't do that. It's so hard.
It's killing me, yeah.
4, 5, 6, or 1, 2, 3, which is what Trapper for, I don't even know. I don't even know if I could teach myself to say 1, 2, 3, but 4, 5, 6 is like what I've been trained to say. JDM on the eco rips a gun away from Hades. It's 2 versus 3. It's a successful eco as far as ecos go. They've got a chance to win it because they both got full health. Let's just say Denial both has full health. And a long distance shot for Juvenile will rest his gun away. So 2 guns versus 2 guns. They've got both Ts. They, Ronin 5, have both Ts in the white halls, and they're just kind of deliberating. They're like, okay, our strat completely fell to pieces. Now we've got to figure out some things. And no doubt you're going to send somebody to at least make a distraction or try to get a kill. Oh, we got a timeout. Is there going to be a pause?
Probably not, since we're live and he was dead already.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, they're going to try to find an early pick and roll and try to get a kill before they need to plant. With so much time on the clock, I doubt we're going to see significant running around right now, and they have to, Denial has to split up, which is the more difficult of the 2 tasks at the moment. There's the questions, do they need to pause? He should be right back, and he is. Finesse is back. They've both guessed correctly. Both teams know, oh, you can see his head. There's a shot, needs to transfer his spray. JDM brings it to a 1-on-1. The bomb plant will know about the good, and he's psyched himself out. JDM thinks that because Mosbeck was here, that the bomb is elsewhere. He didn't see the bomb drop. He thinks he's being flanked.
Well, I mean, then that's exactly the case. He didn't see the bomb drop off that guy.
Oh, no, he knows. Look at this.
Oh.
Look at this game sense. He knows exactly what's going on. He took a preemptive flank, and now Wabbit has no idea how close his enemy is. And here's the execution.
Wow.
Amazing play. Amazing game sense by JDM. A quick defuse. That's a good play. That's a very impressive play.
It was a good play, and honestly, that was an eco round right there. So, I mean, huge eco round for Denial, especially to stop the bleeding here a little bit. You know, if that was 6 rounds for Ronin 5, then they would have been sweating it here going into the next half. So, I mean, huge play by JDM, and like you said, great game sense.
Yeah. 9-5. 10-5, 9-6. Either way, you've got a pretty much even half for train, and maybe even more in favor of the terrorist side. You know?
Yeah, it does seem like the CT sided maps have been becoming T-sided for the most part. I don't know what's essentially the cause of that, but yeah.
Balancing changes and that sort of thing. 3 kills initially. Lucky picks up a 3rd, and JDM saves him from being traded. A fantastic round, cleaned up in mere moments. The half has ended. You're still watching CEVO TV. I'm Cotton. My partner's Klops. If you guys enjoy our work, please follow. And you got a second half coming up. Know that this is a doubleheader, so after this, it's the debut of the new iBuyPower lineup. It's iBuyPower versus Armada coming up next. Great half. Really, really entertaining stuff.
Yeah, really good half. Oh, excuse me.
Well, I mean, let's recap. At the beginning, they lost the pistol round, so winning 5 rounds is impressive in and of itself. Ronin 5 figured out, okay, we need to throw these 2 smokes because Denial doesn't know how to deal with it. And then 3 rounds later, Denial figured out how to deal with it, and they come back. It was very back and forth, very tug-of-war-ish.
Yeah, well, I mean, it seemed like that it was Denial trying to figure out not Denial, Ronin 5 trying to figure out what they needed to do to come back, because they were struggling on their initial gun rounds. They lost, I think it was 3 straight gun rounds in a row, but then, like you said, they figured out a couple smokes, got 1 round, and that's when the momentum shift happened. I think they were confident in their game after that and just were able to keep pressing it.
Now look at this. Now the tables have turned, and Ronin 5 has the excellent CT side pistol round, which is looking a little bit dire for Denial. Hayes does pick one up right as I say it, and that's Mosbeck who goes down. If they can face the same odds as Ronin 5, I guess they have the license to prove that they can do the exact same thing. But you do want this pistol round. Obviously, it's going to be tough. 4 left, a minute left on the clock, and the bomb is traversing its way back to the White Halls. And there's only one here at the Ivy. That's Hayes fighting his own private war. I think everybody knows where he is, so he's very hesitant to speak. If he can hit that headshot, he's going to try. There it is, one tap. Daps is a bit sad. Now, Hayes
Daps only had one health, so he can't. He's not that sad.
Yeah, it's horrible overkill. But he knows, right? He knows exactly what's going on. He knows he's being surrounded, so he can't really move this easily. That's why he's still walking. Wab is having a hard time putting bullets on target, so he'll disengage from his opponent. The rest of the fight happens at inner, and that rotate's going to get cut out. 2 immediate kills. Ronin 5 wins their pistol round 6. Now the deficit is 4.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with the trying to have Hayes show presence out and then try to sneak the bomb in, or I don't think Ronin 5 was going to fall for that. They probably should have sent the guy who had the bomb. I unfortunately didn't see who it was, but they should have probably sent him down the ladder, and then they could have pressed outer together, especially since you knew that Ronin 5 was sending people trying to pick up Hayes.
Yeah, Hayes is actually explaining how he's playing so well by saying I play with the Sensei Raw. I think that might be a sponsorship plug or just a troll, maybe just a troll. Long distance bomb is shooting time. Daps is crouching, knowing that he could be hit at any moment. Double for him. A single bullet pierced 2 players. He could pick up a third if he just looks down into the sight. There it is by the blue train. He's going to go for many, many, many. He wants this eco quad. Can pick it up. There it is. One right below you, friend. Pick it up. Lucky will not be aced. He gives it to somebody else. There's a pretty big round for Daps and a defuse easily achieved by Ronin 5, but know that the bomb plant means that the economy for Denial is still stable.
Yeah, I mean, I'd call that an eco round success since they got the bomb down. I mean, that's exactly what Ronin 5 tried to do on their second eco round right there. So on the last half, except they didn't get the bomb down and then they were money deprived. And now you see actually Denial picking up AKs here for this third round, so they're going to try to force the objective here with their gun advantage.
Now take a look at the scoreboard. They're barely capable, but they could have escalated their weapons before their nades and gone to the final tier of weaponry with M4A1s. And it's definitely something to consider, because if they escalate to AKs on a map where all the engagements seem to be long range, you definitely want to consider your fighting capabilities, Thomas versus AK. It could make the difference. Jumping Lucky. And FNS is thinking to decapitate his own friend. Comes out spraying at the hell. Juvenile's gone. And one left coming up the stairs. Remaining in A. The others have to rotate. That's Mosbeck gone. So 2 left total. 1 at the ladder. 1 at the Z. And if they can just find one person out of place, I think they'll have a chance 2 on 3. You like their odds?
I mean, right now it's looking really good for Denial. I mean, they got 4 people up still, and I mean, they're set up all around the outer site here. So, I mean, they got this thing covered. It's going to be really hard for Ronin 5 to come back and get this.
I think they're doing something very textbook, leaving one person to really guard the bomb and then having everybody push out as feelers to make sure that nobody can surround them, that they'll push out into their choke points to take advantage of their weak spots. And oh god, Hayes almost lost his weapon as well. So 2 forced rebuys on an advantageous CT side and a bomb plant gives Denial purchase, like real handhold into getting their economy jump-started. It could be the part where, this could be the time where Denial pulls away.
Yeah, and it was actually really good that Denial was able to force those last 2 rebuys, because had they wouldn't have been able to save those guns, and they could have kept them and actually, save some cash there. But now if you look at the economy of the CTs, I mean, look at that. 2 people at 0, then 50, then 2 at 100. So, I mean, they are going to be hurting. And if Denial could just pick up this next round, then they should be looking really good here to try to close this game out.
Interesting to see the separation in philosophies of Denial and Ronin 5. Ronin 5 will throw a smoke to seal off Ivy, and they'll throw a smoke to seal off site. Denial will throw a smoke in the third lane to smoke off the Z, and 1 to smoke off the site. They much more prefer fighting the Ivy location than they do playing from the rotators. It's a matter of preference and a matter of play style, and depending on how threatening you feel the rotators are, but it's something worth noting because the rotators from bomb site B happen to be Ronin 5's strongest players.
Yeah, and I mean, I saw the smoke and I saw the idea that they were going for there, but then they tried to push through the smoke, it seemed like, which was a bad idea because then they just got annihilated by Ronin 5. But I mean, if they can use that same smoke and pick off the guys at Ivy and then just shorten the amount of players outer, then I mean, it could be really good for them. Maybe throw that smoke a little bit deeper so you're not so cut off from that position, especially from the guy coming out ladder.
Well, at the pro level, there seems to be 3 necessary smokes, right? The Ivy smoke, the bomb train smoke, and the Z smoke. And you get a choice. Most often you need to throw 2 to open up the third lane to shoot at. It's just interesting to see which one they feel the strongest is for themselves. Now, we're on to an Eco round and people are already getting mowed. Daps has 2, one's in the bomb site, and Hayes tried to scale the ladder of the blue train, found Daps looking right at him and said, oh god, please no. There's another ace rejected for Daps as he picks up a quad and goes for the defuse. Big round for Daps thus far.
Yeah, Daps is looking really strong in her, and this might be the time where you see, I mean, they were both eco rounds, but I mean, still his aim seems to be on point, so that might be a notification for the IGL of Denial to, hey, maybe maybe not go in there too much.
They were both eco rounds, but I challenge you to open up your graphs right now and go to the total damage dealt. Daps has been on the ascension in terms of damage dealt ever since round 8. He's just been climbing and getting warmer and playing with a hotter hand every round.
Yeah.
Anyway, 11-9. Ronin 5 looking pretty good, and so is now. We have very little grasp on who truly has the momentum. Oh, we have a white hall push, a brown hall push. Cutler picks up the first. Nope, that's Finesse, and he picks up the second. 3 pushes, immediately thwarted by Denial. The entire strategy by the CTs blow up in their faces, and this one's almost a guaranteed win, as Hades and Daps now have to figure out a way to defeat 5 players who have already seized their bomb site.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge round for Denial here. They had to get this ball rolling once again. And, I mean, the push, the cockiness from Ronin 5, that could be troublesome for him because, I mean, that's exactly how they decided to go for a Hail Mary right there type of play. Push 3 right halls, try to get some easy kills, and then rotate out. But, I mean, Denial was ready for it. As you saw, they pushed to the entrance of the halls, and they stopped, and they just waited just in case they would push, which was really smart by them.
Yeah. I've actually got some input from a couple of pro players saying that some people treat the outer smokes as a 3 smoke, and some people treat it as a 4 smoke, and the 4 smokes would be Ivy, left side bomb train, right side bomb train, and then Z. It depends on the depth that you throw the smokes, right? If it's close to you, then you only need 3. If it's far from you, you need 4. It's he's flashed himself and Hades just shot him in the face.
3 forces 3. Oh my goodness.
Oh my god, it's like watching a clown car, just everyone trying to pile out.
I don't know why Hayes continued pushing forward after that. So obviously it was going to blind him. I mean, I don't know, but I mean that was a little bit of redemption for that round since they won it so handily, but then they kind of threw it away there by losing those rebuys.
Sorry, I know you're giving analysis right now. I'm just baffled how it happened. Okay, anyway. We'll take a look at our setup here. We have 2 at the Ivy, 1 who was waiting at mid T-Con, but as he gets smoked off, he'll join as a 3-man group here. It's questionable whether you need 3 to take here. If you kind of condition that Ivy player to play off, you can get away with having 2 down this lane, and as you don't want to congest the lane too much, the only reason you'd have somebody here as a 3rd would be an Opera, and guess what? He is an Op. So Cutler is looking for that pick. It's going to be Juvenile who walks into his sights, but they'll just flash him in, and Wabbit will go. No, he gets shot in the kneecap or somewhere in the thigh, goes down in a heap, and now the rush is in. Ace comes out, and Mosbeck was waiting. He transfers straight to the left very nicely, drops down to the hell position. Cutler with the quick scope fails. Juvenile will get the better of him. 2 trades, and Finesse is the last. Out in space. Knocked down. Daps has it. 12-10. It's a close one. It's a real close one.
It is a close one. It's getting closer as we go. And yeah, I mean, Denial, they lost the quick pick there by Rabbit. Wabbit from JDM actually tried to pick him, but he didn't have any support trying to pick those Ivies. So yeah, it was really just the op battle, and Wabbit came out on top.
You've reached a point where Denial is seeing a bunch of buy save slides, and that's much different than the philosophy that Ronin 5 employed. They said, to hell with these slides, we're getting punished, let's just keep buying and keep buying Gallows. Denial's in the lead, no doubt, and we can't judge them for being in the lead, but if they start falling behind here and they don't take the risk, the same risk that Ronin 5 ended up taking, are they wrong?
No, I don't think so, because I mean, if you can't buy with the utility nades that you need, in my opinion, then I think you're gonna have a hard time. Like I said, it looked like Ronin 5 was just trying to rely on their aim in those rounds, and those rounds they weren't having success. It's when they started actually utilizing smokes is when they started picking up the rounds.
Daps is eco round machine. And whether or not it's his own machinations or Denial just likes to rush B or they just like to pick on Daps, he's picked up so many kills on these ecos. He looks like a beast as a result.
Yeah, he really does. Like I said, I mean, those are eco round quads and whatnot, but I mean, still, his aim is on point, so inner might not be the best idea for them.
Are we doing a giveaway tonight? Are we?
We are,
mouse pads?
and yeah, I think if we hit enough viewers, we actually got a little special giveaway for everybody. So
A special giveaway.
I think we're aiming for 4K viewers for that.
If we hit 4K, we'll do a special giveaway. Okay.
Yeah.
I like the mystery there. This is the moment where Cotton wonders why nobody tells him what the giveaways are. Oh, cool. Crossing shot. Oh, Hayes doesn't pick it up. Comes back with the second. Four spray brings down Mosback. I'm still torn as to how to say that. I think he said that it should be Mosback, but I've come into such a habit of saying Mosback. Wabbit is flashed, decides to put a shot out just in case he can get one luckily. And Denial faces off against a full health, 3 remaining CTs. They're all about 50% each. Oh, nice! One tap. Wabbit goes down in the 4. Is it 3 lane, right? Is it? Wait,
Yeah.
Nobody
I'm all confused with the lane names now. It's all jacked up.
2 versus 2. A minute left and plenty of time to maneuver, and Hayes wants to win this aim map battle. Now is the time you validate all that practice you put in. FNS. Finesse will duck his head down to make sure he can plant. He's got one at his back, and the last one is Hades. The number 9 man is at the Ivy with his AK. One at CT Heaven. He knows he missed his opportunity. He knew. He had some intuition because perhaps the ladder made his presence known. But right now he's missing a bunch of shots. He sees the legs. That's one-on-one. And he still thinks he's up in heaven. This could be a disaster for him as he has no idea how close FNS was. Finesse wraps it up. Denial wins one after a dry spell. That was a very sneaky play.
It was good play by Hayes. I mean, he saw that, not Hayes, at Finesse. It was a good play with Finesse. He saw that Hayes got taken out, so he knew that the CT Hades was actually looking at a different window, and he took that opportunity to run down ladder real quick and get in a new spot. And like you said, he thought it was in CT Heaven, which he wasn't, and he gave him an easy kill right there. So the dream is still alive for Denial, but it's going to be close.
I love these close games, and you rarely ever see close games on Train. I feel like I'm talking about this in a very academic and scholarly fashion, but it's so true. How often do you see very tight games on Train? Well, you saw one earlier this week, but realistically, not too often.
Yeah, I think against the evenly skilled teams, you tend to see more close games, obviously. But yeah, I mean, usually that CT sidedness can lead to some pretty not so even score lines.
Look at this. Lucky, who was the far lurk at the alley, gave up his position and he walked away. And somehow Mosbeck timed it so he could walk out. He tells his teammate that there's nobody down here. It's going to be inner. Let's rotate over. It's now a lopsided 4-1 hold before Denial even enters the site. This is doomed for failure if they keep walking into this meat grinder. Finesse has to hit an amazing shot to even have a chance. They walked into the worst kind of death trap, and now Lucky, who was that far Ivy position player, realizes his mistake. He says, how did they know? How did they wait for us? They must have pushed while I left, and now I have to save this AK.
Yeah, when you see the 4-man stack and you're thinking, what the hell? Then, something happened somewhere where they got information that no one was going towards A, and Lucky must be able to put it together that since he left his spot, someone had to push in Scene Alley. But yeah, I saw Finesse actually try to pick up an op down ramp, which was just...
Here it comes. Lucky has to hold on and fight off the Wolves. Picks up one, gets traded. 13-12. We're almost tied up.
Ooh, it's going to be close. Looks like another save for Denial. And, I mean, man, this is going to be rough for these guys. I'm wondering if they're going to go inner once again and give Daps another quad.
Yeah, that seems to be the eco round. Like, let's see if Denial's actually trying on these eco rounds, or they just say, okay, suicide plan.
I see 4 going in the halls.
I see suicide plan. Their game plan is, we're not going to win these eco rounds, so let's just throw this bomb down as best we can. And Cutler will set up with his smoke, toss it down yonder lane, and as it pops, they'll rush out. Here comes the meat grinder as before. They've made it into the site somehow. And Daps isn't cleaning up. He's wasted a couple bullets. Now he'll have to reload if he can't pick up that kill, which he does. Never mind. Never mind. He's a machine. Ace tries to trade him out. There it is. The first killed round for the terrorists was after Daps had already done his work. So all the T's are dead. Another defuse. It's going to be tied up. Denial does not have an eco round. They don't plan out their eco rounds on train. Apparently, they just say, "To hell with this, get this bomb down."
Yeah, just rush in and get the bomb down, get as much money as we can, and hope for the best next round. Which, so they do get the bomb down, so they should be able to buy what they need. JDM should be able to pick up an op. He's not going to be able to get nades, and probably not any head armor, which, I mean, you don't really need head armor with an op, really.
Yeah.
But it's going to be risky. I'm wondering if he's going to go to Alley and try to get that pick on Ivy, or if he's going to pick T-Connector again. Last time he went inner, it didn't really work out for him. And, I mean, with how, you know, we see 4 outer for the most part, you really don't usually see someone playing upper. So picking inner, in my opinion, isn't probably a good choice with the op anymore.
No, I don't think so. And Hades is pushed. And is he going to peek? We'll find out. He sees one to his left. He cannot go all the way back. His peek was way too wide. He took some damage and gave no deaths. He'll drop out. He's still on top of the ladder area. And we can only know that as they do not. This is the case-based learning. This is case-based studies.
Go to DAPS.
I will go to DAPS right now because you tell me to. Number 0 is underneath the ladder, looking up, and he almost gets a kill there. He just wings Cutler as he wanted to come back down as we go back to our director. This is, like I said, this is case-based learning. This is for all aspiring in-game leaders who think, should I just suicide plant every round on train when I have to eco, or should we actually try to win these ecos? Well, Ronin 5 gives you a pretty strong case to try to force some rounds and make a big play, because right now they're mounting a huge comeback. 2 smokes, and Wabbit will call his teammates. Look at the minimap. The consolidation happens now. There's still one lurking. He's by the ladder. The spray through from Mosbeck picks up one. Lucky goes down, and JDM has to recover the bomb. He can't plant it. There's fire in his eye. He doesn't want to as he picks off Wabbit. So 3 versus 4 after a pretty poor start for Denial. They'll have a pretty good chance to win this one if Cutler can just pick up one. Juvenile knows there's a shot, comes out, crouch spraying, takes a dink before he goes down. Cutler takes a dink before his opponent goes down, I should say. 2 on 3, and the odds remain the same. The bomb plant is outer, and Daps knows. He calls his teammates. And now the time for the retake is on. 3. The retake windows are the Ivy, the 5 lane, and the Z. The first one to go down is JDM. Our last one, Finesse, holds on. One of the Z shooting at him. He cannot decide his target. It's going to be a round win for Ronin, who pulls ahead again. Or no, for the first time by 1. Excuse me. For the first time.
Yeah, first time is, this is the first time that Ronin's leading. And, I mean, with the bomb plant, once again, might be the saving grace for Denial. They should be able to buy. It's not going to be a good one. We're going to see some Galil's here. And then some smokes, but obviously not enough nades that they would like. Only 2 smokes, and that's, I mean, you could get 2 down outer, but I mean, it's not going to be optimal for taking it. And look at this, they're all going outer. Maybe we'll see a flash in, try to get the kill on one of the people at Ivy.
Finesse just scrambles down the ladder. It's a little spider monkey, and the take is at Ivy. A huge force pushing through, and it looks like it's going to be Juvenile who tries to hold people off at the sandbags. He's trapped behind here, comes spraying back out, gets random sort of by Lucky. One more at Hell, tries to hold off the initial rush, and Ronin 5 is getting run over. Hades and Daps is left to fight versus 3. They've got pretty good odds on this, and Daps has to know there's one on top of the train. Down to a 2-on-2. They're at the bomb train, and they cannot escape the pincer maneuver. Now, what they did, they just kind of eliminated one of their targets. Now it's just Daps versus our last. Our number 0 is stuck behind the electric. He needs to hit one Dap. He needs to escape this situation, lest he be mowed down. He cannot. Lucky wins it. It's all tied up again, and it's going to come down to the final rounds of the game.
And that speed aggression honestly worked really well for Denial right there. You saw Ronin 5 was just pretty much surprised by it. And, I mean, they had 3 people in the Ivy area. 2 people were, like, directly lined up with each other. So there was some confusion going on there when they did that. So maybe speed aggression is the key against Ronin 5 here.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Aside from the eco rounds, that's the first time actually, it's kind of prophetic, because remember in the first half we said maybe you change up the pace of the game. And as they did, they switched to just pure speed. They ran over Ronin 5, who was just not ready for that kind of pace. Lucky's going to find one right here. Cutler above him supports him. The next 2 trades, or the next trade, I should say, is 80. So one more, and this entry is going to be good. 3 versus 2. The bomb site is secure. The bomb will be planted. That leaves Wabbit and Mosbeck. 2 clutch versus 3. It's down to the tie point. So now is the time if you need to make the play, right? Wall flash for Lucky, and he may peek. You can tell by his posture. There's the flanker. Mosbeck wanted to cut him out. Finesse gets him. It's going to be Wabbit who goes down if he can't clutch with this op. 1 shot, 1 above him, and 1 behind him. Our last one goes for the set defuse. He went for the ninja defuse, thinking he can make a Reddit highlight clip, but no. Denial, who came out so strong, was defeated by the major comeback. They've just barely scraped it together. They're finally on to the game point.
I mean, honestly, they got cocky once again and pushed two people in inner. And I mean, with the round, you have the lead, and you just need to get another round, and you would have forced Denial into a save. I don't know why they decided to go with that aggressive play. I mean, it's
Look at
it
this.
was a gamble.
They've thrown a decoy into Ivy to have two players there with only one person actually standing there. They want to overload probably inner. Now you can see on the minimap with that decoy, the terrorists have moved and repositioned themselves into the brown halls. They're going to try to take it here, and they could run into the death trap if they move too quickly. Now the CTs may spook themselves, they may rotate back, but the ultimate confrontation happens now. JDM hits the great shot. Daps on top of the upper ramp goes down, and the rotates are on. Juvenile must hold on. He's in the sight, trying to use his 5-7 to bring down Hayes. He successfully maneuvers, swaps his spray, and now it's going to be 15. If Cutler will just go down, it's 15-15. We're going to overtime.
We are going to overtime, yes. People were asking. People were asking what's the deal if it has ties. We do go to overtime, guys, so it's going to happen right now. And I do see we are over 4K viewers, so we will be doing our giveaway after this match. And it's for, it's NVIDIA. It's going to be a graphics card, guys. GTX 660, I believe.
My God.
EVGA NVIDIA GTX 660.
EVGA GeForce 660. Am I eligible for this video card?
No.
This is rigged. I'm not casting anymore. Here are the rules. First to 4, MR3 if you'd like to call it that, and then full money, 2-minute rounds. Remember, full money, not 10K, not 8K, or whatever your tournaments are used to, so everybody will be able to buy. Spread here is for inner with the trailing bomb lurking at Ivy. They're going to try to do a ninja. Oh, no, or not. The bomb is getting second thoughts here. The bomb carrier is hazed, and they want to get a lurked plant in, but if Juvenile just walks through and picks up a double and drops the bomb, suddenly this round may just be Ronin's. That is a very courageous move, or a foolish move that turned into a great move. We'll never know. Muspec sprays, trying to find the dancing Lucky as he moves up and down the ladder. Cutler is trapped, fighting at the T-Con. Is fighting a firing squad. Gets brought down by the combined efforts. Daps and Hayes now finesses the last, and he's by himself at the Z connector. That was a huge push. That push by Juvenile completely changed this round.
It did. I mean, look, the bomb was at Ivy, and they were not expecting it whatsoever. Pushing through the smoke, like you said, very courageous, and it paid off so well for these guys. They got the bomb down and completely took control of the round.
My God. I'm not sure if Juvenile made an educated... There was nothing on the map. There's no sound bait. Nobody had really committed to a bomb site. I think he just went man mode and just said, I'm going through the smoke.
I wonder if he said that to the guy, to his team, if he's like, they got a smoke here, I'm going to go through it, or if he was just like, yeah, I'm just going to do this and
the
see
comms
if it
in there,
works.
the comms was like, they have a smoke at Ivy. I'm throwing.
I wonder if that's one of those things where you just go for it, and then if it doesn't work out, you just be like, oh, I got opt.
Yeah, I got opt. Maybe. So the sprint is in for the inner. Nobody's pushing them this time, except for... Never mind. They do have a push. Daps is right in their face, and Wabbit comes up over the top to support him. Brings down JDM 4. His teammate cannot get the quick scope, so Finesse cleans him up. They've almost brought down 2. Somehow, they've managed to at least preserve one of their lives. Now, because they rushed so quickly, because so many numbers were identified as rotated, they've rotated very, very quickly, and you'll know that this round is not going to end as soon as that, because Denial's too quick on that. They're too experienced. They won't commit to this. Juvenile unscoped at the wrong time. Unfortunate for him. Picks it up on the second go-around. 3 alive for Denial. And Hayes, ooh, nice finesse. Muspec was waiting for him. Came out of the Z. 2 versus 3. Both ops. Double op look, and they're fighting out in open space. Now this is not beautiful tactics, right? This is just an aim map. This is essentially what's going on here. Finesse misses an easy swipe. Daps picks up 2. It's 17-15. You need one. You absolutely need one on this T side to give yourself a chance on the other side.
Yeah, and I mean, you asked. I wonder if Juvenile, if they talked in chat that they were going to be aggressive, and it looks like they are playing aggressive here on the CT side, because we saw that push inner, and maybe that's just the game plan Ronin 5 laid out for these first 2 rounds. But now, I would hope that they decide to, they got the lead, they want to hold on to it. They should play a little. Ooh.
Oh my god, JDM's double peeked and somehow got away with it. Wabbit had his gun down. He was like, did he really just double peek me and still got shot down? Muspec will hold on to the site. It might be a perfect half here. It may very well be a perfect half for Ronin 5. 4 alive for the CTs. 3 all in outer. The melee is on. A quick shot attempt by JDM is no good, and a trade for Muspec by Finesse. 3 alive for the CTs. They got 1 in hell who could be on the far flank, and as FNS and Hayes hang on, they don't know where the location of that last man is. They know where Daps is. 1 on 2. Finesse gets shot in the side. A perfect half for Ronin 5, who started off shaky and is now flexing some serious muscle. We're flipping halves. It's still a small chance that this could go to a double overtime, but Denial's looking wounded.
Yeah, I mean, it is Train, heavily CT-sided, so, I mean, Ronin 5 obviously only needs 1 round to win it here, which they can do. I'm wondering if they're going to go for their the round where, essentially the same setup where they got their first round on T-side last at the beginning of this game, where they did the smokes and overloaded outer, but we shall see.
We shall. It's a dangerous time. Look at how many people are lingering in T-spawn with set smokes. They may throw these smokes, they may flash in outer, and then they may walk the bomb inner. It's a very, very courageous play, but you can take risks if you had a perfect CT side. Ronin 5 has every liberty now to take as many risks as they like with the remaining time in this overtime half. No, they'll throw those smokes and then walk inner. I wonder if Wabbit's long fall gave away his sound. No, nobody's close enough to have heard. Only 1 on the bomb site. 3 have moved to B. Nobody bit on the fake. Hades is our far flanker, and he's going to lurk coming around to Z. First shot is good by Muspec. They'll plant the bomb. Here comes the action. All sorts of kills initially. All sorts of carnage. Ronin 5 looks to have wrapped this one up. 2 alive for Denial, and their excellent start. They're probably power ranking as number 1 in CEVO is just now waning, diminishing to the point where it's unrealistic to hold on to. Lucky's the last. He has to clutch it all to win it. Otherwise, it's Ronin 5 who wins it 19-15.